Air Transat, one of Canada's biggest airlines, says it will start scaling back operations today in anticipation of its workers walking off the job as early as Wednesday. The uncertainty is leaving Canadians on edge ahead of the busiest time of year for air travel.
Now I'm a bit more scared and stressed when I'm trying to go and relax somewhere.
It actually costs us for nothing. It's just frustrating, but we're so ready to enjoy our days next week. So, 100%. Yeah.
The union representing 750 Air Transat pilots issued a 72-hour strike notice yesterday. We're seeing disruptions already at Montreal's International Airport as well as Toronto's Pearson International Airport. A departing flight to Edmonton from Toronto is cancelled and an arrival flight from Ottawa to Toronto. In Montreal, a flight on the way to Varadero has also been called off. For more on this developing story, we're going to go to Megan Fitzpatrick. She's in Toronto at Pearson International Airport there in Mississauga, Ontario. Megan, good to see you. So talk to us about what we're hearing now, what the pilots are saying about this ongoing strike and why they've chosen to take this action.
Well, the union representing these 700 or so pilots did issue that notice yesterday, the required 72-hour notice, saying that they will be in a legal strike position in the early hours of Wednesday morning, just after 3 a.m. And the union says this is a last resort, that they didn't want to get to this point. They've been trying to negotiate a new contract with their employer since January, and they say it's been slow and tedious and little progress has been made over the last couple of months. Of course, the usual topics are on the negotiating table, Angie. They say they are fighting for better pay, benefits, job security, and quality of life. Their last contract was negotiated back in 2015. So the union says it's outdated and they deserve one that better reflects industry standards. Here's a little bit more of what we're hearing from the union.
This all depends on how Air Transat negotiates the next 4 days, and that will decide how this finishes. So we're there, we're negotiating, we want a deal, we want a fair deal for us, we want the company to have a fair deal. So let's get it done. We've been there now for almost a year. Let's make it happen.
They say they are still prepared to negotiate today. We know, Angie, that mediators appointed by the federal government have been trying to help with these talks. It's not 100% this strike will go ahead on Wednesday, but if no deal is reached, these pilots say they are prepared to walk off the job.
And in anticipation of that, of course, Air Transat is telling passengers what they need to know. Many affected, those either trying to travel or others trying to get home.
Yeah, so they say they really are left with no option but to prepare for a strike if that is what happens on Wednesday. And so they say they are canceling flights today and tomorrow. They've got to get their aircraft back here to Canada, their crews and passengers, so passengers aren't left stranded. They say if people's flights are canceled, they will be informed of that and told what their options are. And those options do vary depending on people's travel plans and scenarios. The airline says they have implemented a flexibility policy, they're calling it, for people that have flights coming up in the next couple of days up till December 12th. The airline is saying people can go ahead and proactively cancel those flights themselves if they want to, and they would get a flight credit. That credit would have to be used within the next 12 months. For people who have a sunny destination vacation package booked in the coming days, the company's saying if it's canceled because of the strike, they will get a full refund. For people who are already away, if they get stranded there and their stay has to be extended somewhere, the airline's saying they will assume any associated costs for that. There's more information on their website. Again, there's different scenarios for different situations. But the company's saying their goal is focused largely today on getting their aircraft and passengers home. Here's more of what we're hearing from the airline.
We will add additional lift on our network to bring back as many people as possible. Our goal is to bring home as many people as possible back to Canada. And on the 9th, we will be doing the same thing, special program to bring people back. And we will be parking the aircraft at the end of the day on the 9th so that we're strategically positioned to restart operation as quickly as possible.
And in terms of the negotiations from the company's perspective, they say this strike notice issued by the union is premature and that it's reckless. They say that they have put generous offers on the table and that the union is the one that isn't budging. Both sides, Angie, saying they are prepared to stay at the negotiating table and try and get a deal before Wednesday so that this strike doesn't go ahead. It is quiet here at the Air Transat counters behind me. There are some flights departing this morning. I did meet some people rushing off to the security line who are headed to the Dominican Republic, and they said they've booked a backup flight to get themselves home in the event of a strike. So just one example of all the scrambling that passengers are having to do right now to try and potentially make alternate travel arrangements. So as we heard in that clip from that one passenger a few minutes ago, a lot of stress being added to what should be an exciting time for people that might be escaping this cold here in Toronto anyway and heading south. But yeah, a lot of uncertainty for passengers today.
Indeed, and around this time of year when there is a lot of travel that happens here. So as we watch to see what will happen leading up to Wednesday in hopes that there is a deal that's reached, as you say, there are all of that uncertainty and plans being put in place. And I know you're going to sort of be tracking things over the course of the day for us. Megan, thank you so much for this. We'll check in with you later on. CBC's Megan Fitzpatrick for us at Pearson International Airport in Mississauga, Ontario.